Moscow's Red Square. There are around 100,000 of us here, Anderson, and we are all waiting for that clock there to ring in the new year. And that is it. And there you have it, Anderson. From Russia with love, Happy New Year.
And a look at how they celebrated New Year's in Moscow earlier. Kathy and I are joined by the amazing Melissa Etheridge. It's so great to have you here.
Oh, what a pleasure to be here.
It's
so
a little
much fun.
awkward coming from Moscow to you two, but we can handle it.
I think
it's a news organization.
That's what we need to do. We need to bridge some love between those two places.
Agree.
You bet. Sending lots of love there.
The gift of song.
You performed. We played you live on the air. You were awesome tonight. You have a new album coming out this summer.
This is me. This is me. I'm going to do, when I get back on right before midnight, I'm going to do a song called Uprising of Love, actually sending it out to Russia.
Cool.
Oh,
so,
perfect.
Yeah.
You're also going to sing Imagine tonight.
Yes,
which is
wait.
It's one of my favorite moments when Imagine plays here after the Circuit Midnight.
I've never sung it in public before, so I'm really, and just New York City. Come on, this is
you'll
a great
see, everybody gets so nice and quiet and oddly respectful. Not the way I treat Anderson.
Even you?
Even me.
Okay.
I,
Before you came on, I said, I met Melissa Etheridge, and
Yes.
Kathy said, I've been to her house. And I said, well, I've been to her house too. I did an
Both
interview
of
with her,
you.
and then she
I said she
said,
was on my TV show.
and I said, well, I interviewed her on
you
TV
totally
show.
fighting
And I
over
said
me.
she wrote "Come to My Window" about me.
I think we can stop right. Actually, it was about Anderson.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. I win.
Seacrest right now. I'm calling Seacrest right now. What do you love about performing here with all these people in this freezing cold?
I love that it's free.
Yeah.
I love anything that's music that's free. I love that they're all in blue hats and they all.
Yes.
It was good. They got the silver things going. I love that everyone's here celebrating one thing. It's kind of it's like a beautiful sea of diversity here.
Correct.
And celebrating all of us moving into the next year. I love that about
Are
our
you getting
human
a
race.
huge kickback from Nivea? Because you're really pushing the Nivea.
Can't you see my skin?
You look very moist.
It's lovely.
Now,
Thank you.
when you're performing here, can you feel the energy of everybody in the crowd?
I only feel cold.
Oh, is that right?
They're kind of, yes, I can. You feel, just standing here. Come
Your
on,
new
we
album,
feel the
This
energy.
Is cold.
This
You
is
could change it to
this is freezing.
Do you have a New Year's resolution? It's a dumb question.
I call them New Year's.
What?
I just ignore him.
You
We can do
guys,
better.
I
Are
call
you
it-
wearing underwear?
Sort of.
Okay, thank you. That's a question.
Well, that's a good. No, I've forgotten the question now.
New
See what
Year's
you've done.
resolution. You don't have
I
to
call
have
them New Year's intentions.
Oh, okay.
And that is to celebrate this year, to bring diversity into the forefront, to get rid of fear, and to just rock all year long.
Well, Anderson's been talking about rocking it out. Was it, dear?
I use the expression "rocking it out," and she's been making fun of me all night long.
He's very hep. He's a hep cat.
I like to keep it real.
Come on.
You know that about me.
He
Melissa.
does. He keeps it real.
He's
Yeah.
hosting the BET Awards this year. Breaking news. Breaking news.
I'd be happy to.
If you were going to write a song about Anderson, what would it be called?
We call Blue Eyes.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. I like it. Yeah.
Not shallow guy with a secret.
No.
Sorry, I just
Not at
sometimes
all.
I forget.
I'm
We're here.
proud of my Anderson.
By the way,
course not.
did you know that in Key West for New Year's they drop a giant women's shoe with a drag queen named Sushi inside it?
It's a tradition.
And we actually air it. We actually air
you
it.
really?
Yeah, every year. Oh yeah, it's a tradition.
See, equality. I love that.
It is the LGBTQIA
Diversity. I know.
community.
INWXYZ.
It's
There's a lot.
LGBTQIA2S. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, question,
You are
ally.
so politically correct.
I
More
know
so
all
than
the
me.
letters. I know all the letters.
So more so than me.
All the numbers, yes.
Wow.
Well, listen, thank you so much for
you
being
guys,
with us. And
I wish I could
hope
stay
you have
here.
a great New Year's.
I totally will. You guys too. Love you.
You
Thank
are
you
the
very
best.
much.
All right.
Thank you,
Melissa Etheridge, amazing. Let's check in with John Zarella, who's outside Bourbon Street Pub in Key West, Florida. John, how's it going there?
Oh, Anderson, every year it gets bigger. This is our 11th year doing this. Look at this crowd from one end of Duval Street to the other end of Duval Street. Absolutely packed, as it always is. And it gets bigger every year. Sushi, the drag queen, isn't here yet. But I'm told she's wearing a champagne-colored dress this year. If you can still hear me, I've always wanted to get in the shoe. So I'm going to get in the shoe since Sushi's not here. I'm getting in the shoe. Let's do it. All right.
Uh-oh, John's going to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. All right, Anderson.
I'm a little
I'm in the
confused.
shoe this
John,
year,
I'm sorry.
and I
don't
may
mean to
not get
interrupt you,
out.
but John,
I may not.
John, are you saying that sushi was
Yes,
too
Kathy.
busy and you are getting in the shoe personally? Is this a budget cut?
I don't know.
I confiscated the shoe for a brief period of time, but sushi will be in it momentarily. But I had to do this at least once.
And John, in past years, you have brought your whole family to this event. What does your family think about you covering this every year?
Yeah, you know, at first, Anderson, this is what they were a little bit, well, not so crazy about. But after a few years, everybody got used to it. And if the shoe was big enough, I'd get them all in here too.
Well, John, we love having you there, and I'm a huge John Zarella fan. John is a great guy who.
I'm sorry.
What?
I've just got to stop this
Okay.
at some point.
All right.
I just like to imagine, like maybe somebody in America for their first day, turning on their first television, and the first thing they see is John Zarella in a giant fake shoe.
You know what? That's what makes America the
stiletto.
diversity of America. As
I love you, John. I still don't quite get the tie-in to a giant shoe and New Year's. And you being in Florida, I think it's a free vacation for you and your family. I think that's what it is.
Well, John, we're going to check in with you at the stroke of midnight. The shoe is lower down into the crowd. Sorry, go ahead, John.
Is sushi at the ballet?
I was going to say, next year, Kathy
Yes.
should be in the shoe.
You
I
should be in the
agree.
show. You should be. They would love you down there.
Absolutely.
All right, John, we'll check in with you a little bit here. Gary Tuckman.
Oh, no.
I don't even want to talk about where he was last year. I don't want to revisit that.
He
We're moving on. We're moving on.
What?
He was in Maine last year, a lovely town.
Yeah.
This year, he is in Indiana.
Maine is a lovely town.
Gary, explain what happens at the stroke of midnight where you are.
Go ahead, Gary.
Well, I will say, if you're not going to say it, Anderson, I'll say it. I was with the giant sardine in Maine last year. This year with the giant watermelon in Vincennes, Indiana. We're here in Vincennes because Knox County, Indiana, one of the capitals of watermelon growing. 200 million watermelons were going here this year, and that's why this 500-pound steel watermelon that's 18 feet long, 12 feet tall, will be lifted 10 minutes before midnight. And on the bottom of that gigantic watermelon, 14 locally grown real watermelons will be brought. And at midnight, the 14 watermelons will come down and will splat. And I use the word splat purposely because they splat on what they call a splat form. 14 watermelons because it's 2014. And all over Vincennes, Indiana, watermelon fans. 18,000 people live here, but they expect thousands of people to be here close to midnight. Right here, right now, there is a carving expedition of watermelons taking place. And I want to introduce you to someone, the biggest celebrity here. Her name is Briston Anderson. She is the Ileana Watermelon Queen.
Yes.
It's nice to meet you.
It is nice to meet you.
Really quick, if you could tell anyone who's listening in the world what they need to know about watermelons, what would you tell them?
Watermelon is actually the leader in lycopene. So lycopene is what gives a watermelon its red color, and it has great health benefits.
So watermelon is healthy.
Very healthy.
Thank you for talking to us. I know you're in the national competition, and I hope you're the national watermelon queen.
Thank you very much.
Ileana, by the way, Illinois and Indiana. Illinois is literally 100 yards away from us, Anderson and Kathy, and that's important because Illinois is in the central time zone. So 100 yards away, they'll still be in 2013 when we're in 2014. And the final thing I want to tell you, a fun fact, man, I've never thought about this before, but watermelon is not just a fruit. It's also a vegetable, and it's also a gourd. And I have no idea what a gourd is, but it is a gourd. Back to you.
Am I allowed to ask
Yes.
Gary a question?
Yeah, but-
Gary, it's Kathy Griffin. Can you hear me?
Yes, he can hear you.
I hear
All
you,
right,
Kathy.
Gary, first of all, did that girl with the crown just say the word micropene?
Yes, yes.
All right, so she said the watermelon has a micropene.
No. A what?
A micropene? Did I hear that correctly?
So, all right, so we're going to check in
What
a
is
little
the
bit
watermelon
later.
What
have?
bet
And
did
what
you
is the
lose?
nutritious element of it?
Lycopene.
It's like a
Lycopene.
lyco.
It's lycopene,
A
Kathy. Lycopene.
Okay.
That's good enough for me.
Oh, gotta go. I don't know how we walked into that.
What was the
Stay
second
with us
syllable
on
in that
New
word?
Year's Eve. Celebration continues. We're heading back to New Orleans, Nashville, Key West.
You're
The
having
watermelon
trouble
drop
reading.
in Indiana. We're coming
And
up
the
at the top of the
watermelon
hour
has what
here.
ingredients?
Times Square. We're just over 2 hours
some
away
kind of
from
a
midnight when the famous
micro-
crystal ball makes its descent ringing in the New Year 2014. Stick around. We'll be right back.